morning. Let's get this up and going. Right, I have to put big light on. That's a very niche reference, isn't it? Putting the big light on. Okie dokie. We are up and running there. Let me just tilt the screen a little bit. Hello. Good. Alrighty. Here we are, ready for our Monday morning stretch. I can't see you very well, so I'm just going to put up the brightness on my screen. That's better. That's better. We can see what's what. So, welcome back to your Monday morning stretches. We didn't do a live last week because it was a bank holiday. It always feels like a really long time when we just miss 1 week. So it's good to be back in routine. And I'm very glad to have you joining me today to do our stretch. So just a few little reminders and ground rules as usual before we get started. You're not going to need any special equipment for this particular routine. Just something comfortable, so an exercise mat or something comfortable for you to be on the floor. Plenty of space to move your arms and legs in all directions. We are going to be going down onto the mat a little bit later onto the routine. So if you need a bit of furniture nearby just to give you a hand getting up and down, then make sure you've got that. If you're exercising alone, it's a really good idea to have a method of communication nearby, perhaps a phone just close in case you need to reach out for any help. If any of the movements that we go through today don't feel comfortable for you, then either miss that little bit out or feel free to modify to something that suits you a little bit better. If you feel unwell, then make sure you stop. All right, I think that's everything we need to say. So we've got our exercise space, we've got space around us. We're going to start in standing, so just a nice relaxed standing position. Take a breath in through the nose. Out through the mouth. Good. Again, as you breathe in, fill the bottom of the ribs. Exhale through the mouth. And one last time. Wonderful. Well done. Good. So we'll let your breath return to a more normal rate and rhythm now. And if you can think about your standing posture, so equal weight through the feet. Gently tuck in the bottom underneath, so you connect in between the belly button and the breastbone. Your collarbone should be wide, your shoulders down, and the crown of the head floating up towards the ceiling. I want you to turn your palms so that they're facing forwards, and I'd like you to spread your fingers out as wide as you possibly can. Extend the fingertips down towards the floor, and then release. Good, let's do that again. Palms face forward. Stretch through to the tips of the fingers and release. And on this next time, we're going to take the arms up and out to the side. So we're going to hold them up at shoulder height there. Lovely. Bend your elbows and bring your fingers behind your ears. You can soften the fingers a little bit now. We're going to bring the elbows together to meet in front. And as you do that, if you can nod your chin to your chest, so you're opening between the shoulder blades. You're then going to push the elbows back and raise your eye line up towards the sky. Good. We'll sync that with your breath. So when you breathe in, you come forwards. Try and fill your breath into the backs of the ribs. And as you breathe out, you're going to lift the breastbone and raise the eye line. We'll do 2 more like that. So breathe in, wide and full into the back. Breathe out, open the breastbone. Last one. Good stuff. And then arms coming down by your side. So we've done some curve and round for the back. Let's try and get a little bit of twist in now. So if you can take your feet a wee bit wider than we've got them at the moment. And then you're going to turn one way and turn the other way. And we're going to do this with a nice kind of relaxed arms. Letting the arms just go with the momentum of the movement. We're going to swing one arm in front, one behind. And just swap from side to side to side. Good, we'll do 5 more. 4, 3, 2, 1. Good, and then just coming back into center. You have to let it all slow down, don't we? Bring the feet a little bit narrower now. Now, if you're comfortable to have your feet so that the inside edges of the feet are touching completely, then I want you to do that, but that can feel a little bit vulnerable in terms of balance. So if you need to go a wee bit wider, that's fine. But if you can come nice and tight together, then do. You're going to slide your hand down your knees. If I come sideways, slide your hands down your knees, feet flat, and sending the tailbone back. And then we come up again. So we're going to go down here and come back up. So it just gets a little bit of movement through our ankles, through the knees, bending at the hips a little bit. So we sit down into it, come back up. Sit down into it and come back up. Now, when we sit down into it next, stay there, and you're going to sway your knees from side to side. And remember, if you feel a little bit unsteady, you can go with your feet a little bit wider apart. If I go sideways a little bit as we do that, so like a little swoosh side to side, and what that should do is just start getting into some movement around the hips, around the lower back. Looks a bit of a funny movement, but it feels quite nice. Good, up you come, and let's just do it one last time. We go down and we swoosh, 3, 4, 5, and up you come. Good, lovely. So we've loosened out a little bit through the feet and ankles. Let's just do a wee bit more with an ankle twiddle. It's one of my favourites, this. It's a very easy one to do. You can do it in sitting or in standing. Change the direction of your circle. Often don't realise how tight our feet get. So having that at least a little loosen off is always good. Pop that foot down. Let's go same on the other side. So a little twiddle one way, pressing through the ball of the foot. Wonderful. And then round the other way. Marvellous, well done. Okay, now we're making our way down onto the floor. We're going to be on our hands and knees, so carefully get yourself down. And then when you do find yourself there, we want you in this 4-point position where you've got your knees just about hip width apart, hands positioned underneath the shoulders. If you can tuck the toes underneath, that'll give you an extra little stretch through the feet. And we go into our cat stretches here. So you're going to curve and round the back, lift the ribs up to the ceiling, tuck the chin to the chest, and then release out the other way. Good. And we'll keep working between those 2 ranges. Now, don't be in too much of a rush here. Spend a little bit of time at the end of range, just see if you can push a wee bit further into the movement. Good. Breathe in, we curl and round. Breathe out, you release. Breathe in, you curl and round, fill the ribs. Breathe out, you release. Good, 2 more. Wonderful, good. Okay, we're going to come up into a high kneel position now, taking one leg out in front. Doesn't matter which one, because we're going to end up doing both. So if you take one leg out in front, you're then going to go into a forwards and a backwards movement. So leaning into that stretch and coming back. So we're getting some movement around the foot and ankle on this front foot, but you're also opening out on the back leg there. So easing in and coming out. Just working whatever range you've got available. Get to the end of your range and then come back off it. A couple more. Good. Now, that leg that you've got out in front, can you take it straight for me, please? Ooh, she says, wobbling and falling over. So if you need a little bit of furniture to hold on to, that is always an option. But if you try and make sure you've got a nice wide base, so your limbs are lined up on train tracks rather than being on a tightrope and too narrow. So give yourself a nice wide base. And then you're going to take a lean forwards and then come back up. So we're mobilizing your hamstring, the muscle that goes at the back of the leg. Try and keep a straight back, so you're sending the tailbone backwards and come back up. So we're just starting to get a little bit of length, so we're extending back out there. So a little bit of length through the muscles up the back of your leg. Should you do 2 more of these? Good, well done. Now we're going to come back to our 4-point position. I am aware we haven't done the other leg yet. We'll do that in a second. But if you come back to your 4-point, and let's take a little bit more cat stretch here. So we curve and we round the back, and we release just like you did before. Breathing in to open out the back. Breathing out to release. Getting right to the very ends of your ranges each way. Last one. Good. Now up we come. Whichever leg you had in front before, we're now going to do the other one. So we go into our high kneel position. Toes tucked underneath at the back, foot flat in front, hips square, and then let's just go into and out of that movement, opening up your back leg. We've got the front foot firmly planted. Marvellous. And you can always hold on to a bit of furniture nearby if you feel you need it. Let's go a couple more on these ones. Beautiful, well done. Now we're going to pull the toes up towards us and take that front leg out straight. Sending the tailbone backwards, leaning forwards and come back up. So we're now getting into some mobility in the back of your leg. So you lean into it, you come back up. Good, keep going, just working in whatever range you've got available. You can either use your hands on your leg to help support you. You might be able to get one hand down to the floor, whatever feels best for you. Just going to go one last one here. Super stuff, well done. Right, I'd like you to come and lay onto your back now, please. So again, carefully making your way around so that you're laying with your knees bent, your feet and knees together, and your arms right out to the side with the palms facing up towards the ceiling. Now here, can you feel as if you're tucking your shoulder blades in behind you? Gently pressing the backs of the hands in towards the floor. And from this point, I want you to make sure those are your contact points into the mat. So we're keeping the hands, backs of the hands and the shoulder blades tucked into the mat. You're then going to go hip twist. So we take both knees over one way, just as far as you can without those shoulders lifting off, and you turn and you look in the opposite direction to your knees. And then you come back through the middle. Just feel that connection in the middle, shoulder blades, backs of the hands, and then the knees going in the opposite direction. Head turning to look the opposite way to the knees. Little hold there. Come back in the middle. We're going to do 2 more to each side. So we go over and a little hold. Back into center, connect the shoulder blades, connect the backs of the palms. Backs of the palms, that's just the back of your hand, isn't it? Over the other way. And back in the middle. 1 more to each side. So you go over, you turn, you ease into the stretch. You come back in the middle and then overturn, ease into that stretch. Great stuff. Back into center. Pick up one knee, pick up the other knee, squeeze inwards, gently rock from side to side. So your pressure is going through the lower back. If you feel any little snuggy bits, just see if you can think about lengthening out there. And then once you're done, we just take a little pause. Let one leg go down and take that out straight. You're going to gently squeeze the other knee in towards the chest and pull the toes up towards you at the same time on that bottom leg, on the straight leg. So we're trying to lock the knee out, pulling the other knee in, and then let's swap over. So we pull one knee in Slide the other leg down now. Toes pulled up towards you. Push into the heel. Great stuff. And then placing both feet back down onto the floor again. We're going to let the knees flop open and out to the side. Soles of the feet coming together, and take a little rock from side to side here. So that's going to help you stretch into the inner thighs. If you've got one side that feels a little bit tighter, by all means have a little pause, spend a bit more time getting into that one. Okay, good. Lovely. Now we're going to come up into a seated position, seated on the floor. So any which way you can get yourself up and feeling comfortable there. We're going to be as tall as you possibly can. I would like you then to take one arm out behind you, the other one also out behind you, and see if you can get the hands to meet or maybe even to cross over. Now that is going to give you a lovely stretch across the front of the chest. Keep the breastbone lifted, gently raise the eye line up towards the ceiling. And then you're going to come out of that stretch, reaching the hands forwards towards the toes, tucking the head down towards or between the knees and rounding out your lower back. Excellent stuff. And then we're going to roll up into a nice tall sitting position. Big deep breath in, and then I'm going to come and face the camera this way so that you can see a little bit better what I'm going to ask you to do, and that will be to tuck one leg in and take the other leg out to the side. Now ideally you should be able to get both sitting bones in towards the floor. If you can't manage that, you can use something like a sitting block, or if you've got a cushion, big thick book somewhere, just to try and elevate you a little bit so that you can get equal weight through your sit bones. Once you've got yourself into a reasonably comfortable position like that, I would like you to reach toward your toes. So you're going to reach out. Might be that you can get over the toes and sort of pull yourself over a little bit more. It might be that you're actually just getting hold of the ankle or towards the top of your ankle joint there. Whichever position you can get yourself to, you're then going to bring the other arm with it. It might be there already, but if it wasn't, bring the other arm across. So we're now turning the breastbone towards the leg and holding that stretch. Good. Let's come up in the middle. Before we swap over to the other side, the hand on the same side as your straight leg, if you can just pop that out to the side, then the other arm, you're going to lean up and over. So we're going sideways, up and over. Good, come back up. Let's just do that another couple of times. So we're trying to get those sit bones into the floor, sliding the hand on the same side as the straight leg away and leaning over with that top arm. Come back up. We'll do that one more time, up and over. Come back and through. Brilliant. Let's swap over to the other side. So the straight leg gets tucked in. The one that was bent gets sent out to the side. Modifying your position as best as you can to get equal weight through both of the sit bones. And then we're reaching towards the toes. So if you can hook onto your toes, that's fab. If you've got your knee, your shin, your ankle, just go with whatever suits you best. And then bring the other arm, the free arm, across so that we're going for that same stretch, but just adding a little bit more twist. Good. Try and relax into any tight areas. Excellent. Uncurl, and then we're going into your side lean. So the hand that's on the same side as the straight leg is going to slide along the floor, little finger edge of the hand sliding along the floor. The other arm is going to reach up and over, and you go with it. Good. Come back up. Two more. Take a breath in, lift the ribs up off the pelvis. Breathe out as you go over. Good. Inhale and up. Exhale and over. Get that upper arm as tight by your ear as you can. Inhale and up. Last exhale and over. Away we go. and come back through. Good stuff. Up into standing next. So carefully making your way up into standing, whichever way feels best for you. Once you have found yourself back up, just take a little moment to go through a posture check. Or you might need that little bit of time to get up off the floor. It's absolutely fine. But once you do find yourself in standing, think about your feet. Let the feet melt in towards the floor. You're grounding your feet, connecting them in towards the ground. At the same time, lifting up through the crown of the head. So it's this feeling of elongating your body. The weight of the arms is going to pull the shoulders away from the ears. Some gentle neck stretches just to finish. If you can nod the chin down towards the chest. Roll your ear to your shoulder one way. And then down through the middle. Roll the ear to the shoulder the other way. We're going to do 2 more. One way, then the other. Last time. One way, and then the other. Before we come back up in center. Chest is open, shoulders are down, lengthening up through the crown of the head. And that is your Monday morning stretch and mobility routine complete. Thank you very much for joining me. We'll be back next Monday with another live. And then you've got the back catalogue to catch up or watch again. Or if you just fancy doing a bit of a stretch during the week, then you know where to find us. If you could give a like and a subscribe and maybe share the classes with someone else, because the more people we get watching and joining in, the better. So if you could do that, I'd be very grateful. And otherwise, I think that's all I've got to say. And I'll see you again next Monday. Take care. Bye-bye.